Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Rao speaking on this day 3 on Tipe Day Wellness. Tipe Day Wellness. Tipe Day Wellness. Today is hydration. Um, I hopefully you have seen my talks on the day 1 and the show. Day 1 was on gratitude, and day 2 was on breathing, deep breathing, and then today hydration. So I plan to do this once a day tip for about 3 months, altogether 60 tips on weekdays, and hopefully that will add to your life and give some value to it. And some of them pretty ordinary ones, but we could go deeper on those tips. But some of them are, you will find them probably kind of new to you. And so it will be altogether 60 tips. Even breathing, I kind of went a little bit deeper. But you could go much deeper, much deeper at the breathing. But I did go a little bit on that. You can go and listen to the replays if you are interested. Otherwise, it is more like we can repeat them if you have questions about them. Otherwise, I will be talking about these tips. And hi, Nazli. This is a new series, Nazli. I'm starting. This is day 3. I was just telling the folks how I was able to do the so this is giving me problems. Okay. So I'm having some problems with this. Okay. Look at them. Okay, I had some difficulty with this. Now I'm ready for everybody. Also bringing on my friends on Noom vibe. This went out of whack, and that's why I had to restart the whole thing. Now people will come and join us, and we will continue once again. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Rahul is here, and we have been doing this new series on Tip a day wellness. One tip every day wellness. 5 days, weekdays only for next 3 months. Altogether 60. We did day one as first day before yesterday. We did gratitude. Very common, but very important. Number two, we did the deep breathing, and today hydration. Hydration is very important, as you know, but how I do it, how I encounter people with extreme dehydration or water overload, um, has seen the extremes. And also, I see the common complaint with a lot of people who are in this time of summer, also as the summer comes up. Many of my elderly patients, they are very enthusiastic about being physically active, so they go and work in the yard, and then they get dehydrated. So I've seen a lot of patients. Apart from that, if you just take as a general wellness measure, after you get up in the morning, if you drink 1 glass a day, that's a very, very healthy thing. It kind of, you may have been little dehydrated through the night because mouth breathing can lose a lot of water for you, right? So it can happen. So you want to start the day with 1 glass a day, okay? And then if you lukewarm water, some of the yoga teachers talk about drinking warm water in the morning and having a very good bowel movement. That's there too. So you can always do that. Okay. So or you can do cold water, whatever suits you. Welcome, Tova, Angela, and Coach Alison. Nice seeing you here. So we recommend, according to your climate conditions, according to the age, you can have lukewarm water or cold water, whatever suits you. But generally, it's all depends upon the body structure, body surface area, and what kind of weather you are, and what kind of underlying condition you have. Generally, you got to have the hydration before it becomes a need for you to hydrate yourself. Okay, so start the day at least 1 glass in the morning, and then carry some measured bottles, water bottles that have the measuring on this, and usually 4 to 6 glasses. Excuse me. I need to drink a sip of water now. Suddenly there is a tickle in my throat. So start the day and then carry the water bottle and do the water as you need them. It's generally it's a good practice to carry that bottle so that you can drink your own non-polluted something, not having caffeine and other substances that can stimulate you, get you really going too. But if you really want to have something like a lemon or ginger or something like that, that's fine too. I usually prefer lemon and ginger, but a lot of people kind of drink different things. That's up to them. But at least start with that, touch of lemon and some kind of honey. That's my preference. Don't mix the honey while the water is boiling. Get it out of the stove, let it cool down, and then not cool down too much, but a little bit, and then mix the honey. That combination is very, very good. But you can do other things too. People do a lot of things, but I want to keep it simple. Plain water is good enough, but if you have to drink maybe some of these ancient herbs are also okay, but different people do different things. Uh, so all that matters is that you be aware of hydration, how much it is. What it is it kind of jump starts your metabolism. It kind of all systems need hydration. So your digestion, your circulation, your breathing, everything is very important. If you are dehydrated, if you are having insensible loss through the breath, that's a very damaging to the mucosa of the respiratory system. The tracheobronchial tree, the mucosa is very important to have enough hydration. Otherwise, it can desquamate that mucous membrane and it's pretty serious injury. Okay, inhalational injury we call it. Okay? So you don't want to be dehydrated like that. Always replenish water before you become really thirsty. If you are thirsty, you may be a little late on taking breath, but at least if you are thirsty, go ahead and then drink water. And that's why carrying your water bottle with so many ounces marked, then you can see how much have drunk for that day. Okay, that kind of thing. Uh, One of the thing is people also use cucumbers or other fruits or vegetables like that, which gather water together in them, and that water is very mineral fortified, vitamin fortified. That's why fresh waters that are coming from coconut, from cucumber, tomatoes, any of those fruits that have rich in water, you should have a salad of that in the morning and in the afternoon, in the evening too. And it's up to you how many times, at least once a day. That's what I would recommend. Um, Always pay attention to what is the climate going to be, temperature, humidity, and also how much distance you have to travel by what means. Are you driving? Are you walking? Are you bicycling? All those things are important too. Um, you have to really be consistent about drinking the water every day. Um, Usually, 8 to 10 glasses of water is recommended, but you can vary according to your metabolism, according to your own needs and all that. And then you got to really pair with your activities. If you are doing manual labor or if you are doing something weight bearing thing that you have to do, or you are sitting down at a desk, it all varies. So it's common sense. But I have seen a lot of people overloaded with water. So that's a big deal, and you want to understand about that too. Of course, you get to um, get more education about what are the benefits of water all the time. Many people don't know. They just respond to the body being thirsty and all that, but they don't understand the implications of. That's why I always suggest go and attend these classes that they will be giving on how to hydrate in the athletic events or something that's happening like you go and you want to do a marathon and all that. Obviously you have to take some prior educated material so that you can educate yourself and then you can do that too. um, there are so many ways you can talk about water. It's so simple topic, it looks like a big deal. Let me put it this way: 70% of our body is water. Cellular, brain water, cerebrospinal fluid, blood, lymph, venous blood, and arterial blood. So many ways circulation is very important, and 70% of our cellular mechanism, everything is water. And this water is subject to, even moon attracts the water of the sea. The same water in us also gets fluctuation by the attraction of the moon, right? So that's why people are very crazy sometimes around the full moon time or dark moon time, because they are subjected to that. So mentally ill people or neurotic people, they may not remember to hydrate. They may not be allowed themselves to be aware of the movement either. So they can subject themselves to situations where they may be playing some cards or something, a smoke filled room, and not very much hydration. They may bring alcohol and all that. By the way, there are dehydrating agents, alcohol and other things. So remember that. A lot of people drink hard liquor, not really having the hydration for it. It has to circulate, it has to metabolize, it has to come out. All that requires water too. So there are unusual situations where people are constantly drinking and then they are waterlogged, water loaded, and then your sodium goes down so much that will be life threatening. Okay. So that's one of the conditions we commonly encounter in the hospital, the hyponatremia, which is mainly because you are drinking too much water. Some of the psychologically upset people and all that, they drink a lot of water too. So you got to have a balance, you know. But the hydration is so important for the metabolism, for cellular events, for functioning of all organisms. All organ systems need water at various ways, you know. Even for digestion, you need even elimination of the waste. You need the water. So hydration plays a vital, important role. And you can make a simple rule like before I eat anything, before I do anything, I will in the morning, right after getting up, I will drink 1 glass of lukewarm water. That's a good practice to start with, you know. And then don't drink right before you are hungry and you're eating. Then you will dilute the digestive juices so that they won't be that effective on the food. So what you want to do is you want to keep the water there, drive the food down if you need to. Otherwise, wait for half an hour, 1 hour after the food, then drink water. Not before, not right after, but in the during the meal, maybe you want to drive it down, that's fine. But then drink water rather than caffeinated drinks, the Coca-Colas, the Pepsis, the 7-Ups, all those things. Keep it very minimum as much as possible. I know a lot of people drink only these drinks and don't drink plain water, but there's important to understand that we need to not to take those so much, but then plain water and then this one. And then there are so many problems with the Coca-Colas, Pepsi Cola, whatever it is. They have tannic acid in there, and then they have this calories. Even though they say no calories, there are calories, bad calories. And I want prefer not to drink soda. Fruit juices, if you are not a diabetic, okay. But if you are really a normal person, try to drink water as much as possible. Especially temperature is pretty bad outside. Another thing is, even if it's winter, you are inside heat is there, and if you keep it very high heat, and you will be subject to a lot of dehydration too. So that's why you got to balance according to temperature, and always try to rely on your consistency of water and increase it if it is weather is very dehydrating, or weather is really going to take a lot of water out of you. You got to replace that. Other challenge is elderly patients, they don't show the same signs of dehydration like a young people do. Okay. So these people will have to see whether they have any axillary sweat in their axilla, or how is their tongue may not show but much, but that they will be not able to talk very well because the tongue is not moving well. And there are we have our own ways to get to the dehydration of the elderly by really pinching the skin and see how quickly it withdraws and all that. There are simple things that we can do. But generally, start the day with 1 glass, and then at least 8 to 10 glasses through the day, the small glasses maybe, and then just respond commonsensically according to your thirst mechanism, according to the temperature outside, according to the foods you are eating. Suppose you are eating all fried food, that's not good for the hydration, right? So you got to remember that, and then replenish water with that. Suppose you are working in a very high stress job and you are anxious, then you lose at least 2 liters of water with what you call through the breath. uh, Insensible loss of water, that we call it. That are 2 liters people can lose. So you got to remember to replace that. So Generally body will tell you you need water, okay. But don't wait till that time. Try to beat that and drink water before you become very very thirsty, okay. Um, you remember I told you if your appetite is very good, then only eat. But in here, you don't want to wait till the thirst is very intense. Little bit of thirst, okay, then it is warning you, go ahead and drink. But don't allow the body to go. When you have the water available, when you are in a situation where you can take some water, don't wait, just take. It's a very simple thing, but people forget lots of things because they're occupied with work, they're occupied with computers and all that, and then they forget about that, okay. So make it a I call it a cluster. That is, I get up in the morning, I take deep breaths, and right after I want to go and drink a glass of water. So you club activities together so that taking the water becomes more like a automatic thing or routine thing for you, so that you don't have to remember and do it because you have clubbed it with some other activity. That will be very good. Okay, so I see some friends of mine here. Um, uh, Manohar, Hi Manohar, Dudley, Arab, Dwight, Kelly, and Coach Allison, Angela, and Toa. Okay, any of you want to come up, be my guest, and I'll be happy to chat with you. So, Manohar, you sent me a message the other day, and I said hi to you. So, if you want to come up, you come up and tell me what do you think about the hydration and how do you manage that? Any particular questions and all. Such a simple topic, but still very important topic. And we may think we know a lot about hydration. That's not the point. The point is, are we consuming enough water? Are we consuming water containing fruits and vegetables? Are we consuming enough for the activity we are doing? Enough for the temperatures we are working under? All those things are commonsensical, really, but then a lot of people still we find them very, yeah, diabetics or people with other medical conditions like asthma, COPD, they breathe so badly, right? So they lose a lot of water. Diabetics, they lose a lot of water through the urine because of the sugar takes it away, and they are all they become dehydrated very easily, and then that sugar and all that will be very high in the dehydrated state. So obviously, any disease we have to deal with it. Elderly, especially when I saw them, many of the elderly patients, they kind of underestimate the needs of the water for them, and they may sip a little bit, but they don't take enough water so many times, and then they get dehydrated very easily. And then that's not good for them either, so they may not have people to get them clean, non-polluted water. They may not want to drink from the tap, so that is also there. So you get to protect them specially. I remember one case. This lady. Um, so look at that. How it. She lives next door to her child, her daughter. Now this elder woman is around 80 or so, and the daughter is like at 40s or so. So everything was going well. But one day the mom came to daughter's house, had dinner, had a good time and all that. Then she was walking to her house, which is next door, and then she slipped and fell on the ice, and then became unconscious. And she could not say anything. Nobody heard, I believe, in the daughter's house. And the night passed, and then they all slept. And in the morning, when they woke up, and then the daughter went through the yard, she found her mother's laying there stiff, hypothermic, and we had to revive her from, I think she was 93 or something like that, So it was not 93, she was very, very low. Actually, we had to bring her up to 93. But, we have our core temperatures and all of that. But the thing is, she recovered from the hypothermia, but she was severely dehydrated and severely in trouble metabolically, right? So we had to attend to all those things for a few more days. We got her out of that, hypothermic coma very in a few hours because we have the means to elevate the core temperature and get her to that other. And she remained confused. She remained very kind of upset the whole thing for a few days. Yeah. So that's not good. Okay. So you always want to keep that in mind. These elderly are they can walk, but doesn't mean that they can attend to all these things very easily. So having them watching them with a remote camera is a good idea, and watching them drinking water, if not reminding them taking medications. Those things we have now, remote monitoring, right? So in the apartment where it is the patient is sleeping and going around and all that, they put this camera just to watch them so that they are not getting into trouble by themselves. Very, very elderly people, nobody can be there because they are working and all that. So I have seen that project by my professor in OHSU. I did my master's there, so we had to go 2 weeks there. Otherwise, the rest of it is all online. My master's degree. So when I went there, they showed us this building where four social workers are observing like a several hundreds of patients in their own rooms and all that. This is what they were doing. They were monitoring. One of them they were monitoring is whether they're consuming water or not. So um, think of anybody you have in a nursing home or in an elderly home or on their own. Having the monitoring like this is a very valuable thing. One of the things that you want to tell them is you got to drink. Okay, so. Uh, I would like to see that many people carry a glass or a bottle that is marked with all these measurements of how much water you drank for the day will be measured by that because there's all markers. So if you drink that much, you can have an idea. Okay, I drank 12 ounces like that. That's a good way to keep it up so that you know what is deficit or not. Sometimes over drinking. I told you about that too. Generally, let me give you some practical examples. How these things happen. Okay, suppose you are a graphic designer. We listed some examples here. A full water bottle. You know. Um, Next to your bed on the nightstand, that you put it there, and then when the alarm goes off, first thing you get up and drink water. That's a very simple thing. Suppose you are going for a long walk during the summertime, and it's a bike. A lot of people carry that. If you are not having bike, maybe tie it around you, or have a carriage that you can carry around your waist. So many ways we show them to carry that. But this is so many things happen. Young people, they think, oh, I'll get water anywhere. Sometimes the stages are so far away. Like our dike here is a long dike, and people walk there, and then there's nothing in between to get water. You have to go to the river and drink it, but that is kind of polluted, so nobody drinks that, right? So getting something along with that is a very good idea. It's not a bad suggestion to suggest that, so to carry that. Um, then exercise. Remember, when you exercise, according to the uh, intensity, according to age group, according to underlying conditions, according to what was the history of you, whether you are too much sweat and then you are not replacing it, and so that thereby you can become very hydrated very easily. So it varies according to so many situations, according to climate, your metabolism, your needs of the water. All those things vary according to your underlying condition. So generally, drink water before you get really thirsty. If you are waiting until you are real thirsty, that's a bad thing. If you are really hungry, then you are waiting for the real hunger. That's a good thing. But here it is not a good thing. Okay, so I do not do medical here, but I want to be more uh, um, common sense and wellness oriented. Um, Yogis, what they used to do, they always carried what's called kamandam. It's like a metal pot-like thing that's made of metal, right? And they drank out of copper vessels, because copper is very good for us if you ingest that. But they had some inclination, or maybe years of practice, whatever. They used to carry that, and you know what they used to do? They used to do a lot of breathing, but they wanted there were sips of water in between. That's why they carried the water by themselves. And also they were going remote places and doing their meditation in those remote places, up on the hills in the Himalayas, or all those things, right? So they were kind of always carrying the water in that. This is a good habit to drink water in copper glasses. Okay, now the plastic, now the like glasses, but more like a copper glasses. That is in yogic folklore they describe that. That's why I'm saying you. It's not like a scientific kind of thing, but they think was there. They say the copper has the metallic thing that goes on, and which is good for you. I don't want to say anything about that, because that's the tradition, that's the habit that they had, and that's what they promote all the time. And then there are so many different kind of drinks that the jaggery, the sweet thing is from sugarcane and all that. They mix that in the water so light, and that's a very good thirst quencher. So if you are in the summertime and you are going around the forest, and you have this, somebody made it. That's a traditional thing. They have these oasis-like things. They have kind of put like a um, shed or something, they call it, tent, so tent like, but they make it with coconut trees and all that. Under that they put like a very cool earthen pot. It's not refrigerated or anything. In that they have this light water, light this one, and that is very good. Excuse me. So that water is so light. I used to drink that during the summer, because they were giving it for everybody. It's like a act of charity. Everybody going there will get that water, and then people drink that. Also, there's festivals, they do that too. But then that water, um, I personally experienced too. Very thirsty, and when we drank that water, it was like a real nectar. You feel like so grateful that they gave you that. So that kind of thing is very important. So always go for the cultural and natural things, seasonal fruits. Fruits have a very good knack of storing the water within the fruit. And so you want to go for those fruit and then consume that juicy fruit in the morning and then in the afternoon, late afternoon. That will be very good for your thirst. Okay. So anybody plan to come, or just want me to go and talk like this? There are some new people here, so I'm going to follow them. Mm, as a matter of thanks for people coming in here. You know. So this is, I was hoping people will come and talk about these general things. contribute to the discussion. I think some tips you may think everybody knows, may not. What you worked for you, what your personal experience, those are things I was looking for. When I'm talking esoteric, pretty deep stuff, people are not interested. So I thought I will focus myself on the wellness and talk about this thing. And then if the things come that has some spiritual significance, we can always talk about that. But otherwise, this is purely for how can we be proactive about our wellness. That's my new bandwagon word, proactively well. That means you are not waiting for the wellness to become illness and then go and take care of yourself. Rather, you understand what it is that I can do, not only to prevent, but also to be well for a long time and in a real good sense, where body, mind, and spirit are, addressed properly. So that's why this series is given, and so that people may bring deeper topics if you want to. I would be happy to answer any questions if you have for me. If I know, I will answer. Otherwise, I'll go and study and come back and tell you. But generally, if you are natural and if you understand your bodily needs, if you understand your body and your mind's needs, and if you know what is that you are overdoing or underdoing for the wellness, I think you will do a lot better. Okay, so this whole series is a attempt to increase the awareness of proactivity in the business of wellness. As a physician, as I saw so many illnesses being treated, but lot of the percentage of them that I treated who could have been, you know, prevented, could have been arrested at some point, leave alone some cancers, some of the autoimmune, some of the, diseases that organically inherited, we may not be able to do much. But we can definitely help a lot of organ degeneration that happens if you neglect your wellness, if you neglect important things about eating properly, exercising properly, sleeping properly, and meditating, and all those things. If you can understand and why the need has grown because of the modern work style, lifestyles of too much work, too little attention to our wellness, that's happening quite a lot. And I catch a lot of patients at the end of it. So if they have taken in the beginning of it at least somewhat, they would not have come to the stage at that age. So it's kind of, you don't allow the disease process to go forward unchecked, right? We know so much scientifically, we know so much spiritually, and with all the ancients talked about. Um, Many people go blindly with what the health system is telling them. But I don't think you should be doing that. You should be advocating for your own wellness and being proactive about it. If you know that I can take this vaccine and this can be prevented, obviously you'll take it, right? But there is a big argument about um, vaccines causing autism and all that. There was a lot of people believe that, but there is no real evidence for that. There may be some chances from there, but some of the basis in the vaccines may be doing that too. And it also how much risk we have, how much benefit we have, right? Like that. In the wellness department of your own wellness, your own body, your own mind, your own spirit, I think you got to take much more proactive actions. That way you can protect your health. That's why my effort is just to, as a physician who practiced more than 40 years, who has seen a lot of problems with the healthcare system, I made my mission. The last few years I'm there, I'm going to work to promote proactive wellness for people. Not only in the people, in the society, in the health systems and also national health policy. So many ways I'm trying to express myself, present myself, so that we'll have fundamental change where people are really aware of what is what, and then make use of those facilities we have, and that way they'll be happier in the long term. Okay, that's what I wanted to talk to you today, and tomorrow I'll come with another wellness tip, and we will discuss about that. Anybody wants to come up now? This is the time to you come up and tell me what do you think about this. Okay. My friend Angela. Okay, that's good.
How you doing? I just didn't want to leave you up here asking people to come up. That was very great information.
Yeah.
Because I finished taking the water.
I know, but I know why they are so hesitant to come, because I'm not going to bite on the discussion, right? I thought this is a good idea to present wellness tips so that people can, wake up. Some people don't, right? Okay. Mm. How are you, Angela?
I'm good.
Mm.
And I also keep a bottle of water with
Yeah.
me
Mm.
to sip on as, you get up to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good idea to keep it by the nightstand so that you can grab it in the morning and drink it, and go there.
And I also add salt
Yeah,
up under my tongue before I drink the water in the morning.
yeah,
And get the minerals and vitamins, because that's really what we need from
yeah,
the water.
yes, we need that. But but we got to be careful if you.
But I'm saying they take so much out of our water that we get from the pipes.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. That all depends upon what kind of water supply you have, how they are purified and all that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of good filters now. You can use.
No, it's not hard to get filtered. I'm just saying some people, if they don't have it,
Yeah,
it's good to be able to put the minerals in there with it.
Definitely.
Because anytime the water go more than 9 turns underground, it's poison in the water anyway.
Yeah.
Because from the pipes.
Yeah.
And they took out all of those copper pipes and stuff they used to have,
Yeah.
So it's just good to know. And I said, first I said, I didn't want to come up. Nobody else was coming up. Yeah. And I said, let me come up before I really lay down and get comfortable anyway. Yeah. Because I want to say I appreciate anyway all the knowledge you share.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was doing deep topics, then people complained about that. Oh, so he's too deep. Then I said, okay, let me be on the wellness, which is important for everybody's health. I can always switch to something deeper about these topics. But people have to be interested in that, right? Anyway, but I will continue to, if I resolve, I want to do this, I will do that. Even one person comes. But a lot of people communicate after the talks, asking questions. So that they are really listening, but they are shy not come up. I usually go everywhere and I talk also. So anyway, thanks for coming up.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. And tomorrow, yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.